left behind 11 years ago the humidity, mosquitoes, lakes, streams, and miles of forest in the Adirondacks, New York, to the man-made aqueducts, sunny sky, dry, and high elevations of Colorado. At first I noticed that the horizon was bigger, an account that the trees were far and few between. The moon is much larger here, and I assume the sun is closer to us as well. Breathing was difficult, and I felt like I was in a constant state of dehydration. You need to drink a couple quarts a day here. Funny thing is, I do not remember drinking water back in New York. Everything seems to have a sharp point here. The rocks, grasses, vegetation. The grass is the color of the wheat, and the stone was not gray, but red, yellow, blue, and even brown. The mountains are not smooth boulders, but rough and unstable slabs of stone, slipping under your feet as you walk. The soil seemed to be dust and hardened clay. I took many photos over the years and learned to appreciate Colorado even more. It gets hot here, and the sky is blue most of the year. However, it is a blue that pales in comparison to that of a sky near great bodies of water. The winters seem long, but the snow only remains for a moment. The sun never is really far away in Colorado. Hey there, Canadian Conquistador again. I'm out and about. I'm gonna go to Home Depot while everybody's panicking. Going to the grocery stores. I'm going to Home Depot and I'm gonna buy some seeds to plant out because I'm not thinking just about today, but I'm thinking about the future. Yeah, it's good to have food right at the moment, but it's better to have plants in months to come from now. I'm driving around in my unsustainable vehicle, driven by unsustainable gasoline, going to the unsustainable Home Depot, and everybody's panicking about this coronavirus. It's kind of serious, but I'm thinking that this is a precursor to things to come, that there will be much more worse diseases in the future. So the more time I can spend sitting at home living off resources that I have in my backyard, then I don't have to go out to the public and expose myself to those diseases while everybody's panicking from the scaremongering. And so yesterday I had a package arrive of some trees from the unsustainable UPS truck, you know, delivery service, and people drive crazy. But I only have to do it once, right? I buy my trees now, get them in the ground, and I'll never have to do that again. But this video, I think you guessed it, is going to be on sustainability, self-sufficiency, preparedness, because I feel that it's a big pink elephant in the room. And yes, I can be showing you how to grow things and everything, but maybe we should talk about this also. So we'll have this discussion and ground my seeds because we're supposed to get a lot of rain today. So I'll see you at home. Everybody's talking about this coronavirus. It is sad that out of all those things we cannot see with the naked eye, the scaremongering media has us trembling at a germ. Think about it. We're not afraid of that which made everything from the gigantic elliptical galaxies to the smallest glia and quarks. And you and I and everything within and out. And why? Because we don't believe in things that we cannot see. But sadly, we choose to fear men and a germ driven everyone into reaction. The flu kills more people in a year than the coronavirus. It's not the germ that is the problem. It is the reaction of the people and the fear that ensues that leaves us besides ourselves. The reaction is based upon people realizing that they are not prepared. It's really easy to become careless and reliant upon systems in a world where everything is readily available. However, this type of thinking and reliability is self-destructive and not sustainable at all. It's never too late to interject some portion of self-sufficiency into our lives. I implore you to pray, Have faith and focus upon those things in life that are sustainable, not that which is fleeting and temporary. Sustainability is yet another trend in which everybody seems to want to do. However, we all fall very short of doing it effectively enough to make that much of an impact in our lives. Never mind trying to change something on a global scale. Some of us commute on electrical scooters. Some of us bring cloth bags to the grocery store to do our part. This is a great start, but I'm afraid it's not enough to offset the billions of cubic tons of poisons in the Earth's atmosphere. Byproducts of fossil fuels, plastic, and the consumption machine in general. So what am I getting at? When I refer to the word sustainability, I'm talking about how to be more self-sufficient in our immediate world, our homes. If you have a backyard, you can do more towards self-sufficiency starting today. Let me point out that I am not an advocate that we get to the point that we all live like the Amish. However, that is not such a bad idea in my opinion. Making a few right moves now could help you be self-sufficient, at least long enough to get you through a few days during episodes of crisis so you can avoid the supermarkets. Sustainability is the ability for something to be maintained at a certain rate or level. Self-sufficient is needing no outside help in satisfying one's basic needs, especially with regards to the production of food. Although we can aim for 100% self-sufficiency, it is probably more realistic to aim for at least a good percentage of sustainability on your land. I like to think that my land is a small island with some self-sufficiency. However, I still need to take a boat to the mainland once in a while. Don't believe the illusion that the world system that you see now will be here 30 years from now. Look at the Roman Empire, for example. Where is it today? I implore you to take a look at this tangible and intangible world. Observe the laws of nature, your immediate world, and how you impact it, and what you consume from it, and its long-term effect in doing so. Go for a long hike and notice what you see, because this is your reality when you take what you're accustomed to out of the picture. You now see the bigger picture and what is not important. The important things begin to stand out. God, family, nature, and you, and the reality that food and water just doesn't materialize where you want it to and when you want it to. There needs to be a plan and a rethinking where your priorities lie. Here are some things you can begin to implement into your immediate environment to make your place a place of safety, security, and peace during stressful crisis. So some of the things that I do to improve my role in sustainability is look for the free materials within the community. I use reclaimed, recycled materials, and if I no longer use something on my own property, I try to reuse it for something else. I'm into improving the soil and mulch as much as I can yearly. We have bamboo toilet paper, and the reason behind this is you saw that at the grocery stores there was a shortage of toilet paper. Bamboo toilet paper is good to have on hand because it is completely 100% washable and reusable. Solar and wind harvesting is also something that once it's installed, it's virtually free. Moving water, catching and water storage systems so that you have that water on hand when the grocery store sells out. Plant as many edible trees, plant as many edible perennials, plant flowers, plant every day, all the time. Just keep on planting. The more food you have in the backyard, the less you're going to have to go to the store when things like the coronavirus happened and everybody ran off to the store, bought up everything, a reaction to scaremongering. You can plant wind and solar blocking trees to reduce fuel consumption. They say that you can reduce your fuel bill by like 20% just by putting wind blocking trees, like coniferous trees, in your whichever prevalent wind direction hits your land. plant perennials and food and animal fodder, maintain chickens and other livestock for both food and byproducts, compost all of your food waste, have a redundant system in place, which means basically you have a plan B for everything. If one thing goes down, you have another plan. Shouldn't be relying upon one single system. Everything should have more than one reason in your system. Learn to make your own decisions. Stop watching the news. Just listen to rumors. Rumors are just as good as the news. But you don't have to be involved with that constant panic. You're able to free up your decision making because you don't have that fear instilled in you. Number one is rely upon your faith, because that's way more stronger and it's personal to you. You should save your own seeds. Don't have to rely upon running out and getting seeds. There might not be any to buy one day, who knows? And choose plants wisely, ones that are local, ones that don't have to be watered as much. That's what sustainability is to me. Also, refuse to use chemicals other than H2O and your own natural fertilizers that you made from your chicken coops or bunny run or what have you. What is not sustainability? Your phone, your computer, your television, the current forms of communication, social media, all that's not sustainable. It will be something else in 10 years from now. My koi pond in the backyard is not sustainable because it relies upon a water pump and constant filling with water. You want stuff that just takes care of itself. The electrical grid, the electricity grid in your town is not sustainable. Grass lawns, also known as green deserts, and landscapes that rely solely upon the water grid that feeds them. Non-local food systems like giant farms that bring your food to you, grocery stores and other systems designed for the mass are not sustainable. Don't rely upon them. Reliance upon others to maintain you and your family. You need to take the reign and take care of your family yourself, or at least think ahead so that you can take care of your family yourself. Everybody else is going to be looking after themselves. Transportation systems and goods delivered within them are not reliable. Anything that they deliver one day may not be reliable, especially in times of panics like we saw with this coronavirus. And last thing I can think of is governments and banking systems. Those one day may not exist, or they might not work, or they may just fail. And money and currency that we know of today, it might not be around. There's also this hypocrisy about the word sustainable. If you look in nature, look at the galaxies, how they're governed by gravity. And look at the trees, the plants. They don't exist on their own. They, on their own substance, they need light. They need carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. They need things outside themselves, right? And so do us humans. So the word sustainability is kind of a joke, or because we need things to live as well. We do not exist on our own. We're created for a purpose, and without relying upon a higher power, nothing will ever come to fruition for you or I. So just remember that nothing is completely self-sufficient, and we were made for each other. We were not made to be isolated by ourselves. That's pretty much all I have for you. Hopefully you like this video. I know it was a little dreary, maybe a little gloomy subject, but I felt that we had to cover it while I was doing sustainability alongside with this coronavirus. It just shows you that we need to do better at preparing for ourselves and relying upon our higher power for self-sufficiency, right? So I implore you, go out today instead of hustling at the grocery store, draining those shelves. Why don't you go the other detour, the path that's least traveled, and go ahead and buy yourself some seeds and get planting today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like it below and subscribe. See ya.